right, guys, welcome to my messy craft room. I have like probably, I don't even know, 4 projects going on here, but that's what makes it so much fun, right? With that said, I did want to do a quick video of the before on basically how I print a printable onto like different color cardstock. We've done this previously on a YouTube, but it's always nice to do a refresher. So for me, I thought I would design these to be part of, you know, a simple card. So like, for example, maybe on this one, I'll do like the bunny one, there's nobody like you, and it will be right here. I will add that the other thing that you could do with these, so that would be number 1, sorry. So that would be woodland creatures number 1. Most of these internal bodies are with that, right? So like, for example, this one could be really cute where it's like, hello, Foxy, you know, printed right onto the design. Now, of course, you could just print these on white cardstock and just have white if you want that. But I like the cohesiveness of the patterns, you know, unless whites, you're going for that more clean, you know, clean feel, I would say. But at the same time, it's very bright and it stands out. And I want it to be more cohesive. The other thing that I feel like is really cute is you could print these out and do them in little bubbles. So I might play around with that. And I feel like from the Corky one, these two work really great. So even though they're stencils, you could just trace them out and use them that way, of course. And I think that could be so cute, specifically like on a card, you know. So just imagining here, here's your bunny, and then it goes dot, 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 and then it has this little, I'm here if you need any ears. So this printable, of course, we designed to work with our woodland creatures. And so you got 2 for owls, you got, you know, just different ones. So I won't go into that too much detail, but it's a really fun printable and makes super easy cards. And of course, card maker, scrapbooker, whatever, if you have woodland creatures, the whole goal is to make some basic cards that make someone smile. All right, guys, so let's get to the printing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide the color for each one of these. I feel like that's really helpful, and naturally, if these are owls, you can decide what you're going to do with owls. And then, of course, these are with nuts, so that can be your squirrel. These ones are with birds and so forth. So I'm going to plan colors in the palette, right, that I would have used for something for my squirrels, something for my birds, something for my owls, and then I'm just going to cut a specific square, adhere it on, and then I'll show you how to print it. Okay, guys, so in this video, I want to show you guys how I went from my printed printable. So I printed off just on regular printing paper, and I'm going to put it through my printer. So if you have a printer, this would work great, and I know that everybody's printer is a little bit different. So I'm just going to show you my process of how I am able to take my printable and then plan in printing on some different pieces of papers. So how I would go about doing that so that I get this more cohesive feel. So like, for example, if I want this to be in a brown, and then I can make a squirrel, and it will be easy to kind of coordinate those feels. So these are, of course, for squirrels and birds and owls. So just having an idea of what animal you're trying to accomplish, and if you kind of stick to a certain color palette, that will work. So I'll show that here in a minute. Of course, you can just print them out in white, but I want them to not be so much of that like bright, because I feel like white is very bright. I want them to feel more part of the unit on that. And for me, I'm going to plan it so that they're really simple and just part of the body, so that I can just make a few cards and really just make the card be very basic, just with the animal, a couple things maybe, but nothing really crazy fancy. So that is my thought process on that. And of course, I'll show you some samples here in a minute, but let me just show you kind of how I'm planning this out, and then that will help me make some quick cards. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually just taking my scraps of paper and planning in certain colors that I think will work, right? So one thing I will point out is that you want to print on more blenders or like more solid colors because you are printing on top of it. So you don't want it to be like a busier pattern. Like this is even busy. I feel like your words would get lost in that once you print on top of that. So that's what all I'm looking for is just some pieces from my scrap pile, and I have plenty scraps to choose from, and that's what's so nice about these is it takes very minimal scraps. And honestly, with one little sheet, like if I made these the little extra accents and then this like the body and the ears, that's all I need, like a nice really double-sided sheet. So that's all I'm doing is just to saying, okay, these are for owls. What kind of owls do I want to do? I think I actually will do one of these peach owls. So I'm just going to take my scrap of paper here. I'm going to trim this up really fast. And what we're doing, I'm just cutting it down to 2.5 by 2.5 because then it gives me the variety of options to choose. For me, I think I like the idea of it just being really part of the design of the actual creature, the woodland, animal. But these will also work really great from quirky ones. So like I mentioned there, you can use these, and that way I have enough width if I decide to maybe use that instead in my design, right? So that could be really, really cute. So for example, if I wanted to fly by, say hi, and I printed that on there, I could even just do, maybe I'll do that one in yellow because that would be really cute with this, just a pop of yellow. I think I will. And then I could do something like that on a card. Okay, fun. I'm excited. Okay, so we got to get the busy work done, which is just to kind of go through and decide on those. Here, I have a piece of yellow cardstock right here. So I'm just going to, again, go to 2.5 by 2.5, and we'll make that piece. So I'm going to just quickly do all of those trimming outs. Okay, so the next step is we're going to just add some adhesive, okay? So what we're going to do is roll up our sleeves to get down to business, but no, we're going to just add some basic adhesive, and then I'm going to place that over the top. Whatever type of adhesive. Personally, I use 3L. I use these. This is what I have in stash right now. I ran out of my other ones. I'm doing a lot of at-home scrapbooking these days. All right, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to go through those and add them on top. And really, I feel like with any of the designs, as long as you're sure you like the color palette that's going in, like, I picked some neutral ones so that I can kind of play around with that. I feel like you can make any of your scraps work. So you can plan ahead, like what papers you're going to do with what. I semi-did that, but for the most part, I also just said, okay, I'm going to do a gray for the bunny, and I'm sure I'll find the scraps to support the gray. Okay, so now I'm going to take the sheet over to my printer. And the first thing you need to know about your printer is what way does it feed the paper through. So sometimes if you put it face down and face down, like this way, then it will feed it through that way. Now again, this is the top of my page. This is the bottom of my page, so knowing that too. So one thing I will tell you how I experiment with that is sometimes what I'll do is I'll take just a quick pen and I will write on my paper. I'll do this with an arrow down so I can see which way it's printing, right? If you don't know and you're not familiar, then you can do a test run and print it that way. Then after that, hopefully you just remember and you'll never have to do that again. So I wanted to just show you guys that really quickly so you can kind of see that test run. So I need to remember. Maybe I'll put a little note here and tape it down. Okay, so this is face down here, but see, this is the front end. So really my paper, because this is the top front, it's going to go in face up is what it's going to do, and it's going to go like this. So it's top down and face up, not down. So top down, face up. I'm literally going to stick a sticky note. So this is a newer printer. I just got a new one. I had a Canon before this Epson one, and yeah, so far I've really enjoyed this Epson one though. It's been really great, and the ink levels are super awesome in it. Okay, so I'm going to put that in, and it just depends on your printer. Sometimes with the thicker paper, again, it just depends. You do want to make sure that they're really good and adhered down. Like I said, I just added a couple. It might bend the corners just a little, but that's okay. And that is basically how I print those off. So now again, I know printers a lot of times they go out of style, but we use them a lot for school, and I of course work, just printing off things, testing things, etc. But so it's also nice, of course, for free printables at home. Okay, so now I'm gonna go design with these.